What's crack-a-lackin' YouTube? It's your boy Veroshmo, just in case you did not know so. And today, I play Lazy Boy, GM, I play Recliner, Coach, I play Sofa, Quarterback. Today, I present to you my 2019 NFL Mock Draft. Oh boy, it is my favorite time of the year. Some would say it is my Christmas. I love the NFL draft. When I was growing up, I wanted to go to school, become a draft analyst. I wanted to be along the likes of Todd McShay and Mel Kiper Jr. But school was expensive. I didn't want to pay it, so I did not. But I can promise you, I have buried my nose under every rumor I could find. I've kept up with free agency. I've kept up with the offseason. I watched the combine, and I kept up with everyone's pro days. I have looked at statistics far and wide. I have looked on Pro Football Focus for their input. I have taken all this, I have mushed it together, and I have formed my own mock draft for the first round, because 7 rounds, that's crazy. Even 2, it's a bit much. Now, one caveat. I am not including trades in my first round. No one can predict trades. Who can predict trades? Last year, the Saints traded away 2 first-round picks, one last year and one this year, and a 5th-round pick to get a developmental pass rusher. When I saw that, I thought they were trading up to get Lamar Jackson. I was like, oh my gosh, they're getting their quarterback of the future. Nope, I was wrong. So I'm not going to include trades. But anyway, let's go right ahead. And we're going to start with the first overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. The Arizona Cardinals select Kyler Murray out of Oklahoma. Now, this pick, I think it's going to be Kyler Murray, regardless if the Cardinals stay or trade or blah-de-da. If they keep this pick or not, this pick is Kyler Murray, whoever gets it. Honestly, I believe the Cardinals are going to trade Josh Rosen. I think they're going to try to trade. It sounds like the Giants are very interested. They might be looking at getting a day 2 pick for Rosen, so a 2nd or a 3rd. But I think Murray fits Coach Cliff Kingsbury's air raid offense perfect. He's a lot better than Rosen would, believe me. He grades better than Rosen did last year coming out of college. And granted, that's based off 1 year of production. But I think you get the coach. I honestly, whenever you hire a new coach, I think they should instill their guys. Like, I'm a big Dolphins fan. I felt bad for Adam Gase. He came in and he was stuck. He was tied to the development of Ryan Tannehill. And what did that get him? He got fired. So I think new coach coming in should be able to get his guy. So I think that's what the Cardinals are going to do. That brings me to the 2nd pick of the NFL 2019. NFL, I said that twice. It's all right. Draft. I think the 49ers at pick 2 are going to get Quinnen Williams, the defensive tackle out of Alabama. Now, everyone thinks the Cardinals are going to go quarterback. Then this pick has to be edge rusher Nick Bosa out of Ohio State. But hear me out on this. Now, after the trade for Dee Ford, I think they want to find someone that could play that 0 nose tackle role, because they don't have someone that currently can fill that spot, or at least someone that actually can flourish in that role. I think they still want to develop Solomon Thomas. They don't want to just give up on him just yet. Now that he has a running mate in Ford, I think, honestly, that they should go out and get Williams. He's an incredible prospect. I heard that they went out to dinner with the dude. They took him out to IHOP. I found my love at IHOP. I'm married, and I found my love at IHOP. And I think the 49ers are going to do the same. I heard they were just in love with him during their visit, and I think that pick will be Williams here. Now, for the 3rd pick, the New York Football City Jets. They're going to get Nick Bosa. Let's be honest. If he's there, he's gone. I can see them trying to trade out of this pick if Bosa doesn't fall to him. Yeah, I would trade out of this pick. There's going to be some quarterback needy team trying to jump over the Raiders because they think the Raiders are going to pick a quarterback. So they might just take advantage of that. But I don't have that luxury. So the Jets get a pass rusher they so desperately needed. You heard they try to give big money to Anthony Barr this offseason. I think that would have been a huge mistake because he doesn't play. He has pass rushing skills, but he hasn't been a pass rusher in Minnesota. So now you're getting this guy who's 4 or 5 years into his career and who hasn't played that role, and you're going to dish out money to him. I think they dodged a bullet there. So Bosa, honestly, safest pick in the draft. This guy's going to be a great football player. You saw it with his brother Joey. You're going to get the same here. With the 4th pick in the NFL draft, the Oakland Raiders. One of many picks, by the way. They have 2 more first-round picks coming. So watch out for that. I think they're going to take edge rusher Josh Allen out of Kentucky. I believe they're going to let Derek Carr have one more go at John Gruden, despite my big little, I think coaches that come in should be able to pick their guys. They dished out big money for Derek Carr. They've already given him weapons in Antonio Brown and Tyrell Williams. They're going to let this, they're at least going to give him one more season. Now, honestly, the defense was atrocious. There were some bright spots here and there, but they have needs everywhere on that defense. Allen, he got to the quarterback 17 times last year in college. Get the pass rush, man. They need pass rush. He would be a welcome addition to that squad. And the pick 5, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be selecting edge rusher Montez Sweat out of Mississippi State. Now, offensive line could be the pick here. They dished out a ton of money to Dotson, which they should have, honestly. That was a terrible. He's one of the worst tackles in the league, but it's neither here or there. They're going to a 3-4 defense under defensive coordinator Todd Bowles. Sweat would be great. He was bonkers at the combine. The only knock on him is a medical report right now saying he has a heart condition. And this was a very similar heart condition to last year's Maurice Hurst out of Michigan. He was a defensive tackle. He was a first-round prospect, ended up falling to the 5th round because of this. Now, word is this condition is not nearly as bad as Hurst was, so I don't think it'll affect his stock. This guy is long, he's rangy, he's quick, he's strong. He fits the bill for, I think, what Tampa wants to do. They could go linebacker a little high to go grab a linebacker, inside linebacker here. Offensive tackle, like I said, they could do that, but they just dished out all that money to a garbage tackle. I don't want to say garbage. No, he's better than I am. With the 6th pick, the New York Giants select Rashawn Gary, defensive lineman out of Michigan. Now, word on the street. Now, the Giants aren't high on Dwayne Haskins. Plus, I already said I think they're trading for Josh Rosen. So they have their quarterback right there. So this allows them to pick the best player available. And honestly, that whole team has holes they need to fill, aside from running back. They have one of the best in the league right now. Gary projects well as a 3-4 end. He's tremendous upside. The only concern was, for all the ability that this guy has, he lacked a lot of production in Michigan. You didn't really see it on for his skills, you didn't see it on the tape. That's the only knock. So I think they go for a guy with a world of ability and hoping that they just hit the jackpot. With pick 7, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Jawan Taylor, tackle out of Florida. So the Jets went out, paid big money for Nick Foles. So now they need to protect Nick Foles. This line wasn't as good as everyone would have thought of last year after they added Norwell. Honestly, they could use a right tackle next to Cam Robinson, and Taylor and Robinson will instantly become one of the better young tackle duos in the NFL. So you got to protect the money invested in Nick Foles. You got to give Nick Foles a chance. Hashtag give Foles a chance. With the 8th pick in the NFL draft, the Detroit Lions select Ed Oliver, defensive tackle out of Houston. Matt Patricia is slowly assembling pieces to fit his vision for defense. He already poached Trey Flowers, and Oliver can be kind of in that same mold to some degree. Hear me out, because Flowers is a chess piece. You could put him wherever. Now, there were knocks on Ed Oliver's size and a little bit of lack of production. I mean, he was constantly getting double teamed. But at the combine and his pro day, his measurements and his performances resembled that of Aaron Donald's. Aaron Donald, the best player in the NFL right now. Now, from a skill perspective, Oliver is not Aaron Donald. Like I said, production-wise, Oliver couldn't fight through those double teams like Donald did in college. But Oliver is an elite talent, and this would instantly improve the Detroit front seven. It would give Patricia another chess piece that he could kind of play all over the defensive line. And I think Oliver would be a great pick. He's one of my favorite prospects in the draft currently. And with the 9th pick, the Buffalo Bills select, and this was a tough one, let me tell you, TJ Hawkinson, tight end out of Iowa. Tight end, man. I know, tight end at the 9th overall pick. Hear me out. This was tricky. In this scenario, I would have tried to trade out of this pick so easily. Unfortunately, I can't do that. So they addressed wide receiver in the offseason. And the top, like, they addressed wide receiver and offensive line. And then right now, the top 10, like, offensive and defensive linemen are kind of off the board here. So you'd be kind of reaching anyway. So why not get somebody that could serve as a security blanket for Josh Allen? Like I said, here at 9, I think it's a bit early for Jonah Williams, the offensive tackle, and the edge rusher Brian Burns. I think it's a little early at 9. So I went with the best tight end on the board. This guy, honestly, I think he can be Gronk. And believe me, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. I mean, he could. Those are very high expectations. We're talking about a generational tight end, but I think he can be that guy. Now, they did acquire Tyler Kroft in free agency, but he isn't the receiving threat Hawkinson is, and Hawkinson also provides blocking. He can help in blocking situations. So I think this would be a great piece to help out Josh Allen in year 2. All right, with the 10th pick, 10. I love Ty Dillinger. Put Ty back on TV. Anyway, the Denver Broncos are going to select Drew Lock, quarterback out of Missouri. Now, hear me out. I wouldn't do this. I don't think Drew Lock is worth this early of a pick. I think he's a first-round talent, late first round, though. But where it is, the Broncos love Lock. They coached him at the Senior Bowl. Now, let's be honest. Joe Flacco is not the quarterback of the future at Denver. So you bring in Lock in a good situation where he could sit for a year or two and improve on some of his flaws in his game. And then you could start him that following year when you've assembled some more weapons, a little more offensive line help for him. Now, he just needs to work on his field vision and accuracy, but the dude can make all the throws. He's got quite the arm. So I believe that Denver, if Locke is available, because let's be honest, quarterbacks are overvalued and they go quick. EJ Manuel is a prime example of that. I think if Locke's here, they will take Locke. With the 11th pick, the Cincinnati Bengals select Ben White, linebacker at LSU. Cincinnati has a ton of holes. Honestly, for picking at 11, they should be picking in the top 10. They're devoid of a lot of talent on that squad. They rightfully released Vontaze Burfict. He will no longer cost them games or hurt Antonio Brown because now they're on the same team. With White, they get a rare athlete. He blew everyone away at the combine. He's a leader in the middle, so he's great in coverage. Honestly, I don't think I think they're still semi-committed to Andy Dalton. I know they just got a new coach, bring in your guy, but I still think the GM wants Andy Dalton to succeed. So I don't see them given up on Andy Dalton yet. Maybe next year. I don't think this year's the year. So they're going to try to add talent. They're going to try to strengthen that linebacker core because it's devoid of talent. All right. With the 12th pick, the Green Bay Packers select DK Metcalf, wide receiver, out of Ole Miss. Aaron Rodgers only has so many years left. Am I right? And they need to add talent around him. Now, they haven't had a productive tight end since Jermichael Finley. They tried Jimmy Graham last year. That didn't pan out. Unfortunately, in this draft, I have Hawkinson off the board. I think Hawkinson would be a great pick here for Green Bay. But I think it's too high to get his running mate, Noah Fant. I wouldn't pick the second time. I wouldn't pick a tight end here. I'm just saying. I would pick Noah Fant. If it was TJ Hawkinson, maybe. Not Noah Fant. After Devontae Adams, they don't have a solid number 2. They have some guys there that they're developing pretty well, but they don't have a for sure number 2. Now, combinations of injuries, poor route running were culprits for Metcalf's lack of production at Ole Miss. Now, he has a ton of upside. We've all seen the pictures. The man looks like a Greek god. So I think just with a little bit of coaching, I think this would be a great position for Metcalf if he goes to Green Bay. I think this would work great for both sides. With the 13th pick, my favorite, the Miami Dolphins select quarterback Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State. Brian Flores, man. I think we got the right coach, but he is one heck of a rebuild. I said the Cincinnati Bengals were devoid of talent. That goes double for the Dolphins. They need help at every position. I love the Dolphins. I don't love the pick of Haskins. I think Haskins kind of falls in line with Drew Lock as a late first-round pick. The guy's not a finished product. Now, he has a terrific skill set, and he was very productive in last year for Ohio State, but he had great talent around him. He won't have that in Miami. His best receiver is what? Kenny Stills? I don't like that. Now, the Dolphins do have Ryan Fitzpatrick, so you can bridge the gap until Haskins is ready. You don't want to throw this man to the Lions. Not the Detroit Lions, but to the metaphorical Lions. You don't want to throw this man to the Wolves. So I say let him sit that first year, do the Patrick Mahomes, and then try to bring in talent. Because you don't want to flop this early in the draft. Just saying, I'm a Dolphins fan. Please don't flop. And with the 14th pick, the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons select Jonah Williams, offensive tackle of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, offense wasn't necessarily the issue for these guys last year, but remember that defense was banged up. They were plagued by injuries. The defense will be better next year, and this year it's a deep class for defensive linemen and secondary, so you can find that later on in the draft. Now, with Williams, you have an instant upgrade over right tackle Ty Sambrialo, and I mean Williams, he could play anywhere. I think he actually projects better as a guard in the NFL, but he can play anywhere on that line if they had injuries, so he provides a lot of versatility at this pick. Pick number 15, the Washington Redskins select Byron Murphy, quarterback out of Washington. Quarterback, huge need for the Skins. That is, without said, a huge need. But the top 3 are gone. You don't know, Haskins, Locke, and Murray, all gone. A lot of people want to peg Daniel Jones out of Duke at this pick. They try to compare him to Carson Wentz as far as his arm strength and athleticism. He's not the same prospect as Wentz. This man is not a first-round talent to me. Maybe a second or third round, honestly. We could go receiver. Again, this is a deep receiving class, so you can address receiver later on. I think you try to address the leaky secondary. I mean, their secondary was giving up points galore. Josh Norman isn't the same player he used to be. And Murphy, he is the best zoned corner in this draft. I think the best all-around corner in general. His stock is rising. You could see this man maybe even sneak into the top 10. So I think with this pick, Redskins, address the secondary, man. Pick 16, Carolina Panthers. They will select Brian Burns, the edge rusher from Florida State. They're switching to a 3-4. Apparently everyone wants to play a 3-4 defense now. So they need someone who could rush the passer, and they currently have no one. Julius Peppers is gone, so they need someone on the edge. Burns had a heck of a combine. He does need to bulk up. That's not a big thing, but he's long, he's fast, he's scary. Great pick here for the Carolina Panthers.